Buenos dias, everybody. Welcome to Invite Only right here on Play Everything. Play Everything's weekly nerdy news show where we break down everything from pop culture, nerd culture, to video games and gaming. Alongside me today, as always, is the nastiest of nasty.
It's your boy,
Shawn So Nasty.
That Kid Flowers.
And for the first time on the show, welcome Ray.
Howdy.
Just Ray. No last name.
Just Ray.
I don't know if you want your last name.
Nah,
I didn't really.
Ray's good.
That's what I figured. Welcome. How's everybody doing today?
I'm good, man. I had a long day at school.
Sorry, I forgot.
Fuck
And
me.
Producer, as always, Tambo Vlogs right here.
What's up?
He's not important.
You forgot about me.
Yeah,
twice.
He's going to leave, though. So
Now I'm really leaving right now.
Anyway, sorry. How are you doing, Shawn?
As I was saying, I had school, had a long day of that. Had to go to the gym this morning. Had a pretty eventful day. Hopped into a little bit of Apex. We gotta hop in that later. That's the shit. It's really hard right now though, but it's the shit.
Season 4 is really, really good.
You haven't played it?
No, I have. I played it today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and they put the L-Star as one of the
As a
primary
regular
guns.
weapon?
Yeah, bro.
Bro, that shit's annoying as fuck.
Should be smacking. Too
That
OP.
shit's annoying as fuck. It's hella OP. Fuck that gun.
But it's the one.
What you been up to, bro?
Oh, okay,
I
thanks.
mean,
Hey, how about you take over?
Yeah,
here we
I
go.
just
Here's
do
the
that.
news. You go ahead and drive the boat.
Why you hurt?
Have you been playing Apex? Do you play Apex, right?
I picked up a few times just to play with my nephews.
Just get a little close to
my
the
bad.
mic. No, it's all good. If you want to lean back, go ahead and just grab it.
Yeah. So I've played Apex a few times. Just picked it up to play with my nephews more than anything. I'm not much for shooters anymore, but
Okay.
used to be back in the day. Does play well though. The controls feel smooth. So
They do
What you
know
been up
how to
to?
make a solid. Again, go ahead and take the reins. This guy, you know what I mean? No,
What
that's
do you
all right.
want from
Why are
me?
you shocked? No, it's all right.
Why you keep stopping me?
Is that all you've been playing? Is Apex? Yeah.
no, I've been playing through.
No, him.
oh.
Sorry.
Well,
It's not about me. We moved on.
No, we haven't.
What? That's all I've been playing. Yes, I haven't had school.
Okay, cool. You haven't played anything. Ray, what have you been playing? Have you been picking up anything interesting?
I've been playing through the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, the Remind, just doing all the hidden boss fights, getting all that extra story.
Still on that, huh?
Of course.
Still playing that Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, it's my franchise, man. It's
What-
my favorite one that I've sunk way too much time into.
No one here has actually played Kingdom Hearts, so
I've
you'd be the
played it.
first.
I haven't beat it, but I
Oh.
got it. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you want to borrow like the 12 games necessary to get, 3/4 of the story, I got them for you.
I watched the little story recaps on YouTube before I played it, so I kind of got like a
Were the
little
books on there?
roundabout. The books?
Yeah.
There's books.
Yeah, there's books. There's manga.
I mean, there is a manga
Is it really?
actually.
Yeah, you got to read all of it
right.
to get the story.
It's mostly
Yeah?
just all the story from the mobile game that no one picks up.
Can
but
you explain the story in like 2 sentences?
No.
Damn.
Kingdom Hearts
I can
is
explain
like
the story
Death
in like 2
Stranding.
hours.
Is it that deep?
It's been going on for years. Since like 2004 I think was the first game.
It's been going on that long.
Yeah.
Just remember, keep in mind, kind of pull it closer
My
to you.
bad.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's hard, especially if you haven't done this really before. Just keep in mind, we'll get a little closer to the mics. But okay, so Kingdom Hearts. What do you think of Kingdom Hearts 3?
The game itself when it first came out was kind of disappointing to me. Just
Heard that.
there was a lot of story stuff that didn't get wrapped up in like a satisfactory way. But when Remind came out, they fixed a lot of that, and we got some nice boss battles, which 3 was kind of missing out on. So the DLC did a lot to fix the issues that the game had.
Oh, good. You're telling me they didn't launch a complete game at launch? A good game at launch?
It could have had, definitely could have had more on launch. Yeah.
We've never had that before in this
Nah.
games industry.
That's the key. That's what it does. That's the bread and butter of the gaming industry. That's how they make all their money. How much was the DLC?
$30.
Fuck.
Yeah.
$90 game. It's like Destiny when everybody's like, "Oh, it's not good. Just wait for the DLC." And
Destiny
it's gonna
became
be a
free
good
though.
game.
Destiny was free at one point in time, but
Yeah.
I stopped playing once it became free because I already spent $60. So yeah.
Great. Anything else you been playing, picking up?
Just playing Monster Hunter is the other big one for me.
Hey.
Iceborne as a DLC is pretty solid.
Here we go.
So we've gotten, 2 good large DLCs recently from games I'm a fan of. So
Okay.
Okay.
So that's all you're kind of diving into. Well, as I said, what I've been playing this week, I actually dived into the Apex Season 4. Very excited to go a little bit deeper with that tonight. Again, the usual Call of Duty rounds. God, Search and Destroy is so good.
Was there anything new for Call of Duty 4? I saw something on my timeline. I don't really know.
Tambo pointed out there's like you have more loadouts. Like,
is that what it is? Like more loadout slots?
Tambo, what else? Because I don't
loadout and then the crossbow.
They added the crossbow?
Yeah.
That's new?
Yeah, the crossbow is new.
Oh, there you go.
On it.
A little bit. Me and Tambo were doing some 1v1 because Tambo was talking some shit.
He won one. I got to bring it up before he loses.
I wasn't even going to bring it up.
You won?
Yeah, he won one out of like 6.
Out of 6.
But all of them were real close. You know what I mean?
What is that?
I still won.
L's a L, right?
Yeah,
some say I won the popular vote.
For who? It was a 1-on-1. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, are you gentlemen ready to get into some news?
News. I had to do it for you. I got you, baby.
I appreciate you.
You know
I appreciate you. Well, as we get into some news, if you're watching live right here on mixer.com/playeverything, which we go live every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. At the end of every news segment, I will stop and kind of respond to you in the chat there. But during the actual discussion, you won't really be acknowledged. And again, for any YouTube questions, comment down below. Send them in to playeverythingpodcasts@gmail.com, and we'll answer them live at the listener question segment of the show. First piece of news for the day: Sony Interactive Entertainment closes Manchester studio. Sony Interactive Entertainment closes Manchester studio as part of our efforts to improve efficiency and operational effectiveness, the company told GamesIndustry.biz. Formerly known as Northwest Studio, the Manchester studio was established in 2015 to create original games for PlayStation VR. It was reportedly working on an unannounced project. I mean, that's really all there is for that. That piece of news, but especially in a time where we're living in, where Xbox is gobbling up all these studios. You have PlayStation recently with Insomniac gobbling up them and kind of making them a first-party studio.
Didn't they have 2 studios doing VR games?
Yeah, Sony London.
I want to say London. So that one's still going.
Correct. Yeah. So PlayStation.
Those teams.
Correct. Sony London is still doing the VR stuff. They've always been like the weird studio. But it's interesting, especially when there's such a push for VR and PlayStation was so committed to VR. I've seen this before.
So do you think they just mesh those teams together so they can just crank down on the games they already have going?
No, I think they closed the studio.
Just entirely?
Yeah.
What about the people?
Well, I'm sure there's some that will apply for some spots that are open there, and then Guerrilla Games like other places in Europe. But I like I said, I just think, 1, it wasn't profitable. 2, I think this really says a lot about their kind of VR strategy. Okay. I don't think it's as strong as they're making it out to be.
I mean, they're going to definitely move whatever talent they can from that studio.
It already makes sense.
Yeah, but like if it's not a big enough where you need like 2 teams for the project, right? Just pull half the people from the studio, get rid of the other chunk, work on the 1 or 2 projects you're focused on, and get those 2 working well as opposed to 4 okay ones.
Then it's like, fuck the rest.
Yep.
Everybody else can just go apply somewhere else.
I mean, it's unfortunate. Obviously,
that sucks.
It sucks for all the people that were just laid off, and especially, like I said, you don't really see this from Sony too much. I mean, you used to, especially before 2010. That's when they closed a lot of their studios, but now it seems like they're trying to play ball with Microsoft in terms of gobbling up all these studios. So it's interesting to see them close completely one of their internal studios off, and then on top of that, it's not really, it's their VR focused studio. It's the one that they're really trying to drive, where this is the PSVR is like we're treating it like the PlayStation 1, where like this is a growing platform and there'll be iterations and it's going to be here to stay. But I don't know how much longer do you think we have with PlayStation VR?
They just put a lot of money into it. Remember last year they had a couple articles saying they were investing into the I want to say ray tracing, but a couple different sensors that they were inputting into the VR, and I know they were doing something with Microsoft as well. I don't know. I don't remember the article we had, but I know they were partnering up to make some type of new VR headset. But it's crazy to hear that they dropped that studio. I saw a little rumor going around that they were going to add another studio. It was unannounced what studio it was, but I saw a couple rumors going on my timeline saying like Sony Studios just got bigger, and then they dropped the studio. So it's like, is something else going to be announced in the future? Does Sony have something in their back pocket? Was this like something they had to downgrade so they could move, taking a big step forward? You know what I mean? I don't really know what they have planned, but I feel like they definitely, like, this was a strategic move, I think, on them. Like, I feel like they have something in the back pocket.
Yeah,
they're gonna whip out.
I mean, it also depends on what the Manchester studio had produced over that time. They had been active as the VR studio, right? Like, if they had helped with things but hadn't really made a full game on their own, or if the game they made wasn't selling as well as the other studio that was focused on VR, again, I can see them kind of like doubling down the efforts if they have one place that's, for sure good at what they're doing and one place that's just kind of okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're still invested into VR because London studios is still a thing, so I feel like I said, they're doubling down on people, or they probably have something else they're trying to build up on the side.
I'm trying to pull up right now their there we go.
And I can really see the PSVR lasting through the next generation of home consoles and them continuing to push VR. It's hard to compete with what a full power PC can do with VR, but that's just going to be the limitations of a console, right? Well, but as technology goes forward, more and more
they
becomes
beefed
doable.
Up the specs for the PS5, so you think we get a VR system for the PS5?
Oh yeah, Sony's gonna put out another VR for it,
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna make the one that works with PS4 work. You gotta buy the new accessories.
You gotta get the money.
Yeah,
it's all about the money at the end of the day, low key.
I'm trying to look up what they've worked on, but it
Manchester
doesn't seem to be any paper trail of exactly what games they've worked on, which is interesting. So I wonder if they even got a game out. Which obviously, if we're 6 years. Right, or 5 years, and from the making of that studio, and then there's still nothing. Right, there becomes that. Okay, well, where's the profitability of this? I don't know. I don't see. If PlayStation VR keeps going the way it's going, I don't know if there's actually a viable way to make that a viable option for Sony.
You think there's an audience for it though?
There is definitely an audience for it, but there's definitely an audience for the PlayStation Vita, and they really shit the bed on that one.
Yeah. I mean, you got me there.
I mean, and that's one of the things where it's like PlayStation Vita is one of the highest software attaches of any software ever, or any hardware ever.
And they dropped it.
And then they dropped it and that's why it lasted as long as it did, because people were buying games for it, and that's where the money is, not necessarily the hardware. But they didn't help with the hardware sales. True. Making a $300, 135 gigabyte proprietary memory card doesn't really help.
Yeah, they definitely made some mistakes with that one.
Yeah, definitely. So again, sorry, my heart goes out to all the people who were laid off, but I am sure you will pick yourself up, especially with Sony London being around and working on VR
Sony
games.
In your resume, yeah, I feel like you're good.
Especially for VR, there's a lot of up and coming, especially with Oculus. There's a lot of money being put into that right now. The next piece of news: Sony apparently delays PS5 price until the Xbox is revealed. So essentially, on this story, PlayStation waiting it out. PlayStation's waiting it out like they did on E3. Well, not that they waited, but they adjusted their price. They took out the original PlayStation 4 camera to get the price lower. So it looks like Sony is in a little bit of a chess match with Microsoft. It's just fascinating. What do you think of this strategy in terms of?
I feel like that makes me feel like Sony's in a bad place. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I know they had this event coming in February. I know they sent a couple invitations out already, but they're probably gonna talk a little bit.
There's no event in February.
No, I thought they had something going in February already.
No,
I could have sworn.
No, that was last cycle.
This one too.
No.
Oh fuck! I look stupid now. All right. Well, take that all back. So it's the chess match, and Sony doesn't know where to price the PS5 right now for sure. I'm assuming that the specs of the PS5 and the Xbox X Series are really similar, which is why they're probably trying to wait to see what Xbox and how they're going to profit off of it. And then they can kind of drop something maybe like $50 cheaper, just so they can probably gain the market, because Xbox is definitely going to have the games. Like, that's a wrap. Games are going to go to Xbox this year for sure. Now they're just trying to push their hardware, which is probably why they're trying to wait to see how much they're going to place it at, and then maybe drop it like $100, $50.
It's interesting though, because it's like we say that because like we know that their games have probably been in the longer incubation period.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we can really confidently say Sony's not going to have anything.
Sony's, of course, is going to have some games, and even if they have their time exclusives, I mean, that's still going to bring people to the PlayStation. But the games, like, I don't think they'll have as many games being made and produced.
I don't know. I think we're still in that time
year?
where it's like we don't really know. Like, we don't know how fast the turnaround on some of these studios are. And I know we've talked about it before, where it's like we don't know, because obviously they're blowing their load at the end of this PS4 life cycle. But where's this go from here? Where it is, we have Guerrilla with 2 teams. right?
Okay.
And then we have not Naughty Dog. Insomniac had enough time between Spider-Man, and then you also obviously have Santa Monica Studio too. So I mean, right there, those are
heavy hitters.
Yeah, those are heavy hitters. So I mean, right now we know of Halo. Like, are the newer studios going to be ready? Especially with a lot of them being newer. Like, what's Xbox realistically going to have?
That's at launch.
Well, even first year, I'm interested to see. Yeah, obviously, like we talked about it, Microsoft went on this huge buying spree, and obviously they have the manpower now to kind of compete with Sony. But I do think it's interesting to see how, like, are those studios going to be ready to actually put something out in that first year?
You have anything to say on the Ray?
I mean, it depends on how hard the code is to transfer to the different console, right? Like, if it's largely something where you can just do improvements to it and you don't have to change the base engine or you don't have to change the way it's going to work for the console, you could have something you were working on, conceptually years ago and develop it for the new console once you're getting close to that hardware execution, right?
Yeah.
So, it's possible for some of these studios to have stuff that has been on the back burners that has, going to be ready by the time this life cycle comes out.
Yeah, so that could be too, where it's like they've been working on something on the PS4, and then obviously the dev kits come out, right? And then you're able to work with the new hardware, and then be able to spec those up and change the things. So it's seriously a chess piece right now, or a chess game right now. As in, I don't know who has what up their sleeve, what moves that they're going to be making, and then it's also interesting to hear that Sony is actively, purposefully going out of their way. Like, they didn't purposefully go out of their way during E3 to undercut Xbox.
This year's E3, Xbox is definitely going to take it. I think hands down.
Well, yeah, because no one's competing.
Well, I mean, obviously PlayStation's going to be there, but I'm just saying the amount of games.
Yeah, no, Sony's not going to be at E3 this year, dude.
I know. I'm just saying just the amount of games. I don't think even PlayStation can really compete, even if they had something outside of E3. Like,
look, I
Sony pony. I know he's gonna say something.
I've been the one touting the Microsoft has been making huge moves. I've been the one that's been saying, hey, like, they're really bringing the heat in terms of the studios that they're acquiring, and then since they haven't released anything on the entire Xbox One's life cycle, like, there's got to be some of these studios ready to go. But Xbox just doesn't have that first party clout, like the first party clout that Sony does. Like, I mean, 3 of the Sony exclusives I would take those over 6 Xbox exclusives just from what I've seen and know of Xbox. Now,
when are we gonna
obviously, can Xbox produce quality? I mean, we'll see, but historically, Sony's first party games have been significantly better.
But when are we going to get those first party games?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why that's an interesting...
Like, I'd rather have Xbox push out a bunch of great, like, from the studios, they have a bunch of great games in that first year, then wait like another 4 or 3 years from Sony Santa Monica's, or you know what I mean, Guerrilla Games.
Yeah, but as long as we can get like 1 or 2 good games out of Sony in a year, a lot of the Sony exclusive games have that hype behind them.
They carry themselves, and on top of that, it's like it doesn't take. I mean, Santa Monica, admittedly, this last cycle did take a while, but Sony studios typically don't take that long for turnaround, 4, 5, 6 years.
Before they push out another game?
Historically, right? Especially someone like Naughty Dog that really has a quick turnaround.
But even so, that's one studio giving you out, what 1 or 2 games in the...
Well, even Guerrilla, Sucker Punch...
Yeah.
They did take a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly.
But, again, it depends on per studio.
How many Sony Santa Monica games we got from the PlayStation?
But also look at how many... games that, I mean, Naughty Dog pumped out 3 games on the PS4's life cycle, right?
How many years apart?
I don't know the exact years
Fair
apart.
enough.
You got Uncharted 4, you got Lost Legacy, and you got Last of Us 2, which is going to be coming out
on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
crazy.
So, and they did the Last of Us remaster in the beginning of the last cycle. So it's all up in the air, and especially with how fat, because PlayStation did struggle this last cycle with like after that first year, there was literally years and years where there was no holiday game. They relied solely on third party to do holiday game, and then they did early year game, which I'm gonna be interested if they decide to carry that strategy over as well. I don't know, just a lot of up in the air and unknown right now. Which I think is exciting because, again, I like the whole dynamics of this. The fact that Sony's actively going out of their way to wait out Microsoft to get the pricing, I think, shows that they know they got to be competitive.
I mean, I think it shows that they're not confident in what they've got, right?
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Like if they were confident, if they were set and like, yo, the PS5 is going to be badass, right? We don't have to worry about what Microsoft's doing.
Boom.
We can set our price and not worry about shit. So they're either not confident that it's going to be able to sell for as much as the Xbox is, and they're waiting to see that price. And if it's priced higher than theirs, cool, now we look good. Or if, they had it originally internally priced at a higher point and now Xbox releases theirs at the same price point or less and they got backtracked. It's just to keep from looking bad if something were to go down with the pricing on Xbox.
That could completely be the case, but it also could be the case that they've actually learned from years past, right? Like, that's what they did with the PS3. They're like, we're confident and you're going to pay $700, $600 for this thing. And we don't got games, but we're confident that you bought the PS2. Why wouldn't you buy the PS3? And that backfired. So I mean, it could also be them looking back and being like, all right, let's not go with that strategy again, and let's see if we can not have that gaffe again where we come out and we're at a ridiculous price and everybody laughs us off to the stage with the crab game that they tried to sell it to everybody. I'm like I said, that's what I like about this, is it could easily be them just being like unconfident in the actual hardware itself, and knowing undercutting Xbox could really help them out, or that they're ready to learn, that they've learned in years past that they're all because they came off good on the last generation. They can't expect everybody to be on the PS5 hype train. Yeah,
I don't know what they mean by. Remember, they were saying they were trying to get everyone to switch from the PS4 to the PS5 as quick as possible. I don't know how they plan to do that. Like, I'm trying to figure out like by what means do you plan to get everyone to just drop the PS4 and hop onto the PS5? Like, price point would be the easiest for sure. If you just sell that bitch at like $300 for sure. I mean, why not? Maybe $400 even. I'd cop it. Xbox X price, but
give me backwards compatibility. Let me play all my PS4 games on a PS5. I got no problem switching.
I they already confirmed that part.
Well, yeah, I think that's
I missed that.
Yeah, well, it's already confirmed, but also on top of that, it is. I feel like that was a no-brainer, even if they didn't announce that. Again, going back to Sony, is like things that normally are no-brainers that they don't really pick up on. So, I mean, Xbox too. So, I'm just glad we have that part down where it's like, okay, well, you can actually use your, like with Xbox's case, you can use your Xbox One controllers with your Xbox Series X, whatever the fuck they're calling it. It's very upsetting. Bad with names. You know what I mean, Ray?
Yup.
Real bad with names. And
X
counting.
Series.
Before we move on to the next piece of news, I'm going to kick it over to the chat. We got Andreas C21, which is Compa Andreas.
Fucker.
He says, hold it down for me, boys. Sucks that I couldn't make it. But does it really, though?
That fucker.
Does it really, though? And if you're in the chat, go ahead and drop us those sparks. It really helps us get in the algorithm. They're just little stickers. Your sparks are free. You get them as you watch. I appreciate it. And like I said, if you want to be part of the show live, you can come over to mixer.com/playeverything for everybody who's listening and watching on YouTube. Raymond asked, where's Andreas C21? Where are you, bro? It's a good question.
Decided not to come today. Ask him in the chat. He's there.
He bailed. But that's right. Ray came to fill and save the day. Fill the spot, man.
You got a better replacement.
Well, next piece of news. Disney Plus Marvel Super Bowl 2020 spot. Falcon Winter Soldier is a lot. Loki and WandaVision footage revealed. Did we all watch this footage?
We all watched the footage.
Yep.
I mean, it seems like a lot to show off at once.
I'm hyped they finally showed something because they announced this shit way back when, and I spent fucking $70 for the first year, and like it's almost halfway over, and like I feel like I wasted my money. So I hope this shit comes out like soon. I
got mine free for a year.
Yes.
Purchase of LG TV. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Ray?
I'm tired of wasting my money on fucking companies that don't want to give me what they tell me they're gonna give me.
You got that Baby Yoda though. You know what I mean?
I haven't watched it. I haven't
Seems
watched
like
Mandalorian.
a you problem. Come on. Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Hey, man, I'm going to back up Shawn on this one. I also don't Star Wars. I know it just makes me fail as a nerd.
I also don't Star Wars. I respect
it. Man, this is why he's here.
At least you own up to it.
Already better than
Flowers
Compa.
Tries to fake it till he makes it.
I don't fake nothing. A little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
I be talking on my ass a little bit, but like it makes sense. I be making sense.
So what's your first impressions on this 3-second trailer we got?
It's a lot. I wish they had a little more Falcon shit. I like the Loki scene when he's like in the jail, in the prison cell piece. I'm definitely interested to see how they're gonna play that one out. Why you laugh at me?
Well, I don't know. Tambo laughed, so it made me laugh. Why is that interesting to you?
Because Loki, like he's fucking crazy. And in the movie, he like took the Tesseract, so I don't know if they're gonna like have that in the movie or in the show. So like, you know what I mean? So, like, a lot could happen in there. So those two, I'm excited for. The Black Widow piece, not so much. I mean, it looks cool. I definitely looking at Scarlet Jo and some latex, but I'm not really excited for the show. That's all I had to say.
Okay, cool. I mean, he really stopped abruptly there. Ray, big superhero fan.
Yeah, I'm big on comic books in general. I've seen every Marvel movie. I got them all on Blu-ray. I got the steelbooks for all the ones I can. I'm excited about it. We got a lot of like little tastes of everything. It's got me looking forward to stuff, and definitely want to see more out of these. I'm hopeful for their shows.
WandaVision was the most intriguing to me.
I forgot that was
because what the fuck are they doing?
We'll see.
Yeah,
right?
I'm interested to see. Like, it looked like it took you into different, like, almost like sitcoms.
That's what I was thinking of.
Where it was like almost different, like sitcoms from different eras.
I'm excited to see Marvel trying new things.
Yeah, me too. And it's always worked out for them in the past, and it's that one I think is the most intriguing to me. Now, obviously, the heavy hitter here is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Before we get to those, what is fucking Vision's? What stone is that? Do you know what stone is that?
The Mind Stone.
The Mind Stone.
Yeah.
So
it's the one that was in Loki's staff in the first Avengers movie.
And what does it do?
Yeah. It controls people's minds. It works as Vision's mind, sort of.
Remember how he got into that doctor's head? What was his name? What was the fucking old fucker?
That could be a play on that.
Thor guy,
the old doctor from Thor.
About. Yep. Hey, remember Natalie Portman was in those movies? I don't remember.
I don't even know who that is.
It's Jane Foster. She becomes Lady Thor in the comics.
You don't know who Natalie Portman is?
You don't know who Denzel fucking
Natalie
Washington
Portman is
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna lose nerd cred. Princess Amidala, right?
He doesn't watch Star Wars.
Yeah, but still.
And
look,
movies
he's gonna
1,
try
2,
to
and
figure
3.
He's gonna try to figure it out.
I know who that is. She was actually pretty cute in movie 2. Okay, well, now I know what we're talking about. Thank you. Now I'm here.
So Natalie Portman, I don't know how. Sorry, that was me just taking a jab. But no, so he controlled the old dude in Thor's mind to give him the
So the show you see him kind of flickering, so I can kind of see them playing with that. Now it makes a little more sense. Now that I kind of know what his little stone did now.
Yeah, so the stone allows you to control like people.
Yeah, so now that makes sense. That makes a little more sense. I wonder how the fucking what's the name? What's the girl's name? The Red Witch? Is that her name?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch. I don't know like what she's gonna do in there.
Weird magic. That's kind of her
what's
thing.
Vision gonna do in there? I don't know what.
Vision controls mind, but what the fuck is Scarlet Witch gonna do? Like,
she's like one of the most powerful motherfuckers in that thing.
Yeah,
I don't really know much about him.
Nah,
have you not seen Avengers?
In the comics.
I watched she just fucking took Avengers Thanos and fucking crushed him like a peanut.
But I mean,
okay,
that's like what, like psychokinesis shit. Like,
she's a witch.
But what can she do?
Shoot red shit out of her hands, man.
Chaos magic is what it usually is in the comics.
That's what it's
called? Just chaos.
She's just fucking.
It's magic.
Like control. She just fucking just destroys shit.
She's a magician.
She's OP.
Okay.
She takes out like 90% of mutants. It's just like,
by herself.
Y'all don't need powers anymore.
She takes their powers.
Yeah. She just takes them out of history. Like, you don't have a mutation anymore.
I wonder if we're gonna see a lot of their fucking superpowers in that show, because I don't know where the fuck they were going with that.
I think they're just trapped in there. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with that, because they're dead.
What were you saying about
spoilers.
The Falcon one? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
and
off.
then I think the Falcon Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like I said, is the heavy hitter there. I'm interested to see how they kind of turn him into like the new Captain America. I don't know. It's cool. I didn't really get a lot from it. And then we had the new Black Widow trailer drop as well.
Saw some latex. Exciting.
Exciting times. Bring us back to Iron Man 2. No, that movie doesn't really do anything for me.
You're not here for the show either, right? For the Black Widow show, you're not really that hype?
Is there a Black Widow show?
I thought it was just the movie.
Oh, that's what that was for? I thought it was for the show.
No, it's just a movie.
Damn, I'm looking real dumb on camera now.
Oh.
How you doing? This is mixer.com/playeverything. My name is That Kid Flowers, aka Shawn. Thank you for watching.
Best bullshitter in the business is what I like to say.
Right back at you, bitch.
I don't know what that
Got
has to do
him.
with me.
I don't know.
But okay, so did you watch the Black Widow trailer at all?
Yeah, I saw it. It's not one I've been super hyped for, but we'll get a little more of her backstory. We'll probably get that the scene with Clint of like what's going on with their backstory, right? Why they actually gave so much of a shit about one another.
Who knows?
Yeah,
That's a good point. Why do they give a shit about each other?
yeah, because like when they're introduced in the movies, they already know each other, right? So we're gonna get that backstory, I think, and hopefully it's something cool to watch.
Well, I think it's going to be
that's all you can
Marvel really
really hope for,
building
right?
up these throwaway characters into like actually meaning something.
Yeah,
because
have no
all their
throwaway
legacy
characters.
are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
I'm kind of so meh on Marvel right now.
every character is gonna be someone's favorite, right? Every character is kind of worth hyping up, at least to some degree. So
I don't know.
we'll see how it does financially. If it makes them money, they're gonna keep doing stuff like that. If it doesn't, they'll learn.
Yeah. Well,
Gonna go from there.
after I feel like I know this is taking a little left turn here, but I feel like Infinity War, Endgame was such a perfect ending that I just don't give a fuck about anything else that comes in this universe. Like that's just kind of how I feel right now, where it's like, okay, it ended. Like to me, it ended at Endgame right now.
You sound like you were most excited for like the galaxy shit though.
Yeah, but then I really think about it, I don't really give a fuck.
No,
It's like, to me, I don't know. It's hard to get me excited
Thor in
about this
space.
stuff. No, I will watch these movies, and I hope one of them gets me back onto that hype. But like, I feel right now that I'm just like, anything after Endgame is just kind of like meh to me right now.
Spider-Man didn't do it for you.
Spider-Man was alright.
It was all right.
I fucked
But
with Spider-Man
Endgame was
heavy.
the end of that era. It wrapped up that whole, like we've been dealing with this since we were kids. They were the superhero movies.
Yeah. I liked Spider-Man a lot though. I think I hope they make another one. Like that was the shit. Exactly.
Spider-Man's good. I love Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's one of my favorite
But,
comic
like,
book
even that
characters, and the
last
movie
one-
was great. But like,
Even the last one, I was like,
it felt kind of disconnected almost, and like that's fine going forward as long as they don't.
see that at.
Like it's hard to kind of try and connect back and like use this hype when that whole arc is over, right? That whole like genre of that era of heroes is done.
they have to build a really damn good hook. Like they have to start rebuilding, like you referenced back, another really phenomenal arc. And I feel like the movie that they have had out just didn't do it, which was Spider-Man. And I don't know if Black Widow, like she's dead. Like what arc are they really gonna build from there? Like,
I mean, I haven't read. Have you read the comics a little bit? Do you know if there's anything after like beating Thanos? Or is that the end of the comic?
Well, I mean, there's
Infinity War was hella years ago. There's been a second Infinity War since then in the comics.
Boom. You can get a second one.
We also got a second Civil War in the comics. We also got, just because the comics went places though, the cinematic universe went places the comics didn't go, so it's kind of hard to do that, right? Like you got that split.
No. Why would you want that?
Nah.
Because why not?
We're done with the Infinity Stones. Let there be something else in the universe.
Circle of shit in each other's mouths. You know what I mean?
Circle of shit in each
I'm just looking forward to the new Doctor Strange. It's a horror movie. I'm gonna be
See,
set.
that's one that excites me, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like a standalone movie, probably great, but like as an arc, it's like
But see, that's what I'm fine with them doing. Like, if Phase 4 is mostly like
Disjointed?
it can be just standalones. Give us a reset, just give us some good movies. They don't need to all be interconnected, at least not as seriously as the last several Marvel movies have been, right? Like, we can get a solo adventure and still have it be worth something.
I want a second Infinity War.
well, you're wrong. Anyway, next piece of news: Nintendo has no plans, as we discussed in previous episodes, to launch a new Nintendo Switch model in 2020. Nintendo's president Shitaro Fukuwara has stated that Nintendo. I butchered that. It's okay.
Shutaro.
Moving on. That Nintendo has
Cultured
no
swine.
plans to launch a new Nintendo Switch model during 2020. These comments are from Nintendo's 9-month financial results briefing for fiscal year ending March 2020, and then in which Nintendo said, "We believe it's important to continue to communicate the appeal of both Nintendo Switch systems and expand the install base." I mean, that goes the Switch Pro rumor. And I haven't heard your opinions on this, Ray, but would you be interested in a Switch Pro? OLED screen, beefed up specs?
I mean, yeah, if you give me a handheld portable console that is going to look amazing, I'm going to be set, right? You know, even if you just gave me the dock that lets me play it in higher resolution, right?
Did you buy the Vita?
No.
Oh. Seems like you just went against your statement there.
I've played the Vita. I didn't buy one ever. By the time it was relevant to me, like in my growth as a gamer, it had already ceased being in production.
I bought my nephew a Vita like right before the PlayStation 4 came out. I know I'm late, but you know what I mean? Hey, I thought I was being a good uncle.
Buy him a memory card?
No.
Oh, well,
didn't buy him one of those.
Couldn't even play games on it.
Not that good of an uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't play games without the memory card?
No.
Well.
What do you do? Now you just put a $200 bill on your nephew.
Well. Got nothing else to say about that. It makes a lot more sense.
Well, all right, cool.
Okay. All right.
What are you? I know you were kind of rooting for the Switch Pro.
I mean, it would be cool to have like an OLED screen, definitely beefed up graphics on games like Pokemon for sure, or even like Smash if that's even possible. But I mean, I think they need to get really just the coding down and really get like the specs. Like I don't want to have a beefed up graphics just to still have a 720 resolution. I think that was the highest the Switch kind of went. On the actual like handheld, which I would want to like higher resolution on the handheld, but they don't really care. Clearly.
I mean, also give us the higher resolution on the base, right? Like if you give me 720 on a handheld, that's fine. At least like try and give me 4K on a dock, right?
Yeah,
I know they're not gonna.
I mean, and it's Nintendo, and it's the argument I made a couple weeks ago where it's like, and again, not to say rub it in and say I'm right, but I'm right. Nintendo doesn't give a fuck about any of this. The hardware is not what they give a fuck about at all.
I mean, and do they need to? It's not like they're struggling, right?
No, if they could put Mario on a potato, they would fucking do it. They would market the shit out of that. They'd make it have, what is it, dynamic rumbling, where you can feel the ice cubes in the potato.
It's hot. Hot potato.
That would be their shit. So, disappointing, I guess. Like I said, I called it. They don't give a fuck. Platinum Games enters self-publishing with Wonderful 101 Kickstarter. Platinum Games, which has been one of the most interesting developers, I think, watching from the outside in, is now porting its Wonderful 101, or trying to self-publish their Wonderful 101 game to multiple platforms, and it's reached over $1 million in support, which is insane, especially for a developer that could clearly get a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always find these game ones very interesting, especially from bigger studios. Like, why do you need our money? Like, you're an established developer. Like, why do you need to crowdfund this when you can easily get the funds?
I mean, it could be so you don't have another company's oversight. Like, if you're trying to get someone for the funds, they're going to have input on your game, right? But if I can hit fans directly...
Sure, but you
get something
think about
funded.
it. You're saying Platinum Games doesn't have money to port a game?
No, fair.
Like, and then they can get money from that.
Yeah.
Like, from the sales on that. And I don't like this where, like, Shenmue 3 went on this way, right? Where it's like, they did the crowdfunding, it took forever, and then it finally came out in a whimpering silence. Like, why do we have to, like, give me the product first and then I'll pay you? Like, especially for these, like, I get it for indie developers, you know, Nick DiPaolo out there making Adams Ascending. I get the support there, right? You're a one-man team, you're a five-man team. Even Hello Games, they crowdfunded their stuff, right? When they first came out with No Man's Sky. I just don't understand these big developers. Like, Platinum Games is not a little developer. Like, they easily have some liquid funds that they can move around to publish, like, port a game, essentially.
I'm looking at the games they worked on. They're talking about Bayonetta 2, Astral Chain, Nier Automata, which is still a fucking hit. What else we got here?
I mean,
Teenage
anything
Mutant
by
Ninja Turtles.
Squeenix slaps, so...
Facts. Hard facts.
Yeah, and the Transformers game, that was actually really good. And then Metal Gear Rising.
Revengeance. I think that was the Apocalypse one with the zombies, I think.
It's when they made Raiden really dumb.
Raiden?
You remember that? Yeah.
I don't know the Metal Gear characters.
Well, he's right.
Raiden's the boy with the swords. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I don't know the characters.
Well.
They made him real retro.
We're going to need to fix that at some point.
I do. I want to hop in. But I mean, it seems like these games definitely for like Astro Chain for sure. I know one has sold a lot. Nier Automata, I think they had like a PlayStation hits for that game. So like these games definitely went down in the books. It's probably like one of the top selling, especially from them for sure. So I don't know. Like maybe we're going off of what Ray said. Maybe they're just trying to do something without oversight from like Square Enix or Activision or whoever they work with. Maybe they're just trying to have their own thing with their own vision, which they probably need throwing money at that point.
Yeah, it's another one that I'm like, I just don't like. It almost comes off greedy to me, where it's like you can easily port that game. You can even if with the licenses and the things that you have to pay for, it's like you could easily pay that game. It's just you don't want to take that risk.
Yeah, I mean, it's also proving that there's interest in it, right?
Yeah.
Like if we can do a crowdfunding, I can prove like, okay, cool, there's at least 50 grand worth of people interested in this, however much it's going to cost to do the initial port. Well, cool, now I have no risk of a loss, right? I've already covered my initial costs of doing this. From here on out, it's just going to be pure profit. And while that is, kind of shitty feeling, it's
Money
not
hungry.
bad tactically.
No, obviously. Like, if I was a developer and I was able to do that, like,
Yeah.
obviously you want to do that because it's like, now there's no risk. Like, there's no skin in the game, which
Yep.
I also think can really, again, this is a port, so I don't think they're going to have an issue, but, like, things where it was, like, Shenmue 3, right? Where it's like, I feel like having that, it doesn't fucking matter kind of mentality where it's like, it doesn't matter if this fails, hurts the game.
And that's how you get an incomplete game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, or just a game that just doesn't run well because it's like, I'm not going to lose my house. Okay, this is fine. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could release garbage and it doesn't matter because my cost is already covered.
where it's like something like an indie game where it's like, hey, we need funding. It's like, hey, help me quit my job so I can go and I can make games.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, okay, there's still skin in the game there because if they fail, then they fail. Like it's there, even
Hard
that
fail.
even that safety net that they had is gone. Whereas on this, it's kind of like,
We
we tried. Let's make another Metal Gear game, or let's make this. Or
Astro
let's
Chain
sign
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's a much more viable developer, and it just bugs me that I just feel like people get taken advantage of, especially in instances where it's like the Shemo developer, or like, and that was that was on the E3 PlayStation stage. Like, what? Like, what are we, like? That's like if PlayStation was like, okay, our next Uncharted game is gonna be crowdfunded.
Yeah.
If you really want it,
It's like, what?
it makes no sense to me. But here we are, 2020. People are still doing this bullshit.
2020.
Well, speaking of bullshit, Final Fantasy VII Remake release date, trailers, news, and features. But now, nearly 5 years after it was announced in E3 2015, we finally have a Final Fantasy VII Remake release date, April 10th. 2020. Although
Yes.
it hasn't been smooth going with Square Enix pushing the release date back from
Yes.
March 3rd, 2020. Despite the delay, we are firmly on the hype train for Final Fantasy. I'm reading the editorial. I don't even know where you got this from. Anyway, so we got a release date for this. I'm sure it's gonna move.
Oh, of course.
It's Square Enix.
I'm not upset at that though. I really hope it moves because they did that with Final Fantasy 15 and they pushed it back a little bit and then released it and then, like it was a rushed game still. So like bring it back.
Do you remember Final Fantasy 15 was the last one, right? The last one that they
was
did.
like one of
Where it was the
big
Car
ones.
Boys DLC.
Yes.
Okay, that game. No, there's something wrong with that because that game.
I told you that game was bad.
No.
just
But I'm saying they announced it. They pushed it back. They announced the new release date. They pushed it back, and then they made a big event. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
They made a huge event at like the LA Convention Center about, here it is. Here's the release date, and then they delay it, and they're like, it's not going to be delayed. Like at like a press conference. I remember that. It was actually kind of funny. Tim and Greg
were
hosted
there?
that show. No, they hosted it. Like
Oh.
they were hired to make this like
To hype it
the
up.
event
hype
was
it up.
the release date.
Yeah.
The event was a release date, and they still delayed it. So I am 100% positive this is not a firm date.
I mean, but also, it's Square Enix in general. Do you have any idea how many times Kingdom Hearts have been delayed?
Yeah, please be excited for E3.
It's
If we all remember that moment where they gave us the most Jeb Bush ass and that please be excited for E3. Like, all right, cool, thanks.
I'm not upset at this though. I mean, push it back as long as you need, but don't give me a rush game.
Yeah, give me a good end product. I don't care how far it got pushed back, right?
That's all that matters.
Like, at the end of the day, if it's a beautiful remaster, and I'm sure it's going to be, because, like, you have to put time into this. Final Fantasy VII is iconic.
Actually, question from the chat, Max 1081. Which one was Final Fantasy VII?
It's the one with
Max?
Cloud
Okay, perfect.
from Smash
Max
Bros.
is actually here in studio.
Had the guy with the long hair with the super long sword. His name was Sephiroth. That guy.
Cloud, Smash Brothers.
What was his?
I've beat you with him like a lot.
Knows.
Oh.
It's one of the like 2 games I'm good at. What do you expect?
You're a big JRPG fan?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like your bread and butter
indeed.
too.
Yep. I've got like.
I was full of dorks today.
No, I mean, yeah.
Oh, you miss Compa, don't you?
I do. Talk about Star Wars with me. And speaking, is there anything else you wanted to add?
baby.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Got a boat.
Mandalorian Season 2 release date, Baby Yoda's homeworld, and what we know. Mandalorian 2 Season 2 will be released in October 2020. Star Wars fans might still be divided over the rise of Skywalker, but no one can deny the Mandalorian's success. I don't know why I keep reading the editorial on this. You need to edit this better, Sean. It's all right. I appreciate you. You did the news. Compa bailed. He's a coward.
Just trying to get things together.
Compa's a coward, and he bailed on us, and that's okay because that's what we come to expect. You know what I mean?
This is good news to me because I feel like now I have a reason to really watch Mandalorian outside of just not being a Star Wars fan entirely. But now I feel like they're gonna come back with a second season like that. You know what I mean? I don't have to wait like another year like you have to do with most like Netflix shows, for example.
Do have to wait a year.
October 2020?
Yeah,
That's not that far.
it came out in November.
That's like 8 whole months, bro.
Oh, well, didn't watch it yet. So, less than a year for me, you know what I mean? But it's quick. It's a quick turnaround, which is what I really like to see from shows. Like, I hate when it's like
this is a quick turnaround. I don't know.
year?
Yeah,
That's the quick turnaround, bro. What do you mean?
that's like average. That's like the standard for shows.
I mean, even if it was like a little bit quick, you act like they didn't know it was going to get a season 2 as soon as they started.
Well, of
You
course they were gonna
know
get a
they
season
had this
2,
planned ahead.
But my
Like,
thing was they were gonna come out with season 2 in like 2021. You know what I mean? I didn't want that.
I mean, I could see it happen in first quarter of 2021 as opposed to like third quarter 2020, but it's not that much of a difference, right? It's
What are
coming
your
out a
guys'
couple
definition
months.
of a quick turnaround then? Because I'm confused. Like I thought quick would be a year.
I mean, quick turnaround. Like
I would say if you had something out within like 6 months.
Yeah, I was gonna 6 months.
What show has ever coming out with the quick like a turnaround of season 2 in 6 months?
Exactly.
So SNL, Saturday Night Live.
SNL.
They go on break for a month, come back. Tip Top Magoo, season 50.
Yeah, but does that really count?
Even things like Big Mouth, like Netflix's Big Mouth, I
Mouth
feel
was
like
pretty quick.
has a quick turnaround time.
Fair.
Um,
I mean, and I feel like Netflix shows kind of got to, right? Especially because they release a whole season at once.
Amazon shows too. I feel like,
BoJack Horseman.
Fair. Ooh.
like The Boys, we already got a season
That's
2
my
trailer.
ringtone.
I fuck with BoJack. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess The Boys was almost a year away, right?
When does The Boys come out?
I know we just got a season 2 trailer. What's up? Max knows what's
we got
up.
the trailer? I
Yeah,
haven't
there's a
watched the
trailer for
yet.
season 2. So
Oh,
they're
fuck.
pretty
That
quick
should've
with their
been in the news.
turnaround as well. So I don't know. I just feel like that's standard, but it's all right. If that's quick to you, that's quick to you. You know
Quick
what
to
I mean?
me because
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a hella long turnaround, though, right? Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's not.
If they-
Curb Your Enthusiasm, where it's a 6-year waiting period.
Yeah.
for
I
the
mean,
next
I feel
season.
like even a full year and a half would be too long, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're waiting a couple years for a season, that's definitely going to diminish the hype for it.
Yeah.
But just through October, like, most people are willing to wait that long.
Yeah, and especially with all the stuff that they need coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like we heard the Obi-Wan Kenobi series got like indefinitely delayed because they didn't like the script and it was too much like Mandalorian. And it's like, oh, come on, guys! Like, what are we doing? And it's like, like you said, Disney Plus really doesn't have anything out right now.
Yeah.
Like they had
Pisses me
Mandalorian, and
They
cool,
announced
you can watch all the classics, which I know you enjoyed Inside Out. I remember you telling me that one time.
Inside Out, Up.
He was so, and you debated me. You're like so excited about it. You're like, what? You don't like the classics? You don't like the classics? When I was like, no,
I
they
do
need
like the
originals.
classics, but after you watch
Wait.
the classics, like I need more.
But are you trying to say Inside Out and Up are classics? Because I'm going to have to fight you.
What's wrong? Yes. Yes.
Bruh.
Disney classics.
I'm pretty sure we were adults when those came out.
I know, and I'm still gonna be an adult when they're gonna be a classic and still talked about in the future.
Well, yeah. I can see them transitioning into being classics.
Like, would you say
but, like,
WALL-E is a classic?
Ooh. That's hard.
It's
good.
good. Yeah.
No, like
I'd say classic is something that kind of goes down in the Hall of Fame, but I feel like everybody's so loose with like the Disney definitions of classics because
Fair.
everything that they put out is like
classic.
Yeah.
the best thing. That
yeah,
is
I mean,
Disney fans.
it's Disney, right? Like
Disney be putting a lot of money behind shit. Make
Robin
shit
Hood?
look real good.
Classic?
Robin Hood.
now I got Oodalali stuck in my head. I got the song from the beginning.
So good.
I just thought about something.
What?
Tambo just left, so how are we gonna close the show?
I mean,
carefully.
So if you're watching live, which I'm sure you're not, there's going to be an awkward pause here after we close it out. But don't you worry about it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
After we close, just everyone just turn off the show.
Yeah, when I
Just
say
pretend like we ain't
you
here.
exit your browser and you go over to youtube.com/play everything and subscribe. And that's what we're going to do.
Sounds
That's
like a
how we're
great
gonna
plan to
close
me.
it out.
No, I'm gonna do that right now.
Hey.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Max,
like Ray.
I better see your fucking finger on that subscribe button.
Need the mobile devices. I know you got one handy.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was kind of the show. Is there anything that you want to add to the day? Sorry, it's a little bit disjointed today. We had like 9 different things. Compa telling us he can't host like a couple hours before. Tambo just got up and left at some point during the show, so that's great. Again, I got here right as soon as we started.
Very
rolling.
busy day for everybody, you know what I mean? But we couldn't let you guys down, so
We couldn't say no to doing an episode for everybody, even though if you hate us, and like this guy in the chat says, I look like I have diabetes, so shout out to you. So I couldn't let him down. Where's that son of a bitch's name? Anyway, so I appreciate you all for watching, listening.
drop
Ray,
some sparks.
what would you like to plug? Just because I don't know your plugs off the top of my head.
I got nothing at the moment.
You got no plugs,
Just
dog?
plugging y'all. Y'all do a great job.
I appreciate
People
that.
And
support
I'll
that.
take it. Shameless support. So if you want to follow us, like I said before, youtube.com/play everything. If you can't catch us live, that is okay. We got you covered. We go live every Friday at 10 a.m. on youtube.com/play everything. And you got something to do. You're driving a car. You're delivering that milk, Sean. You know what I mean?
Who does that?
We got you covered because if you can't watch a YouTube video, we have podcasts. And this goes on podcast services, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
iTunes,
Some,
everywhere.
Some no-name ones. I mean, that's Apple Podcasts.
You mean
but
I get to
iTunes.
listen to the
Apple
sweet sound
Podcasts
of your
is
guys'
definitely
voice
iTunes.
in the morning?
Every week, Friday
That sweet
at
music.
10 a.m.
Ooh.
Sometimes 11 a.m.
See,
depending if I don't
This is why you
schedule it.
need to schedule me to close on Fridays, so the podcast can be out by then.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, so
Got a point.
all that good stuff. And again, if you join us live, thank you so much. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Sorry, I'm forgetting our times here. You can donate to us here. You can drop the sparks. Again,
Drop
that
sparks
helps
now.
us. That's free. You
Spark
get
it
that
up.
just for watching us. So go ahead and drop those. It helps us get an algorithm. It really helps us out. And you can follow me, as always, Cheeks_Junior on Twitter, Instagram, and PlayStation if you want to friend me there. I don't know how fast I'll get to accepting that. And you can follow Shawn Flowers over at That Kid Flowers over on Twitter.
On everything, honestly. Twitter, Insta, PlayStation, Snapchat. I might not add you on Insta. May add you on Insta, actually. I really like people on Insta. May not add you on Snapchat, though.
His OnlyFans, though, $5. Valentine's special.
That one has a different name.
100% worth it, though.
DM me on one of those outlets and I'll give you my OnlyFans.
And as always,
No
this
plug for Ray,
is
though,
Invite Only at Play Everything's weekly nerdy news show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And until next time, we are Play Everything.